Greetings, dear friends. Welcome to today's meditation. In the very first chapter of the Bible in Genesis 1, God says, "Let us make humankind in my image." So God created humankind in God's image, and in the image of God He created them, and God saw everything that He had made, and indeed it was very good. There's an expression that's been around for a long time, the words spitting image. Has anyone ever said that to you, or you said it to someone? You are the spitting image of your dad, or your spitting image of your mom. I don't know if I ever said that to anyone, but I know it had been said of me, and when they said it, I quickly denied it and couldn't believe for the life of me, or grasp it, where I was a spitting image. And now I look in the mirror and I'm thinking, well, maybe a little bit spitting image of my dad. A few years ago, I read a book by Walter Wangerin Jr., and in it he began using that term. He said, being in the spitting image of my grandfather. And he knew his grandfather chewed and did a lot of spitting, but wasn't sure what that phrase meant. But later on, after grandfather died, he was visiting an elderly woman from the South who was a part of his congregation, and she spoke using that expression. And he realized she was not saying spittin', but spirit, and dropped the R. So spirit was actually spirit. Spittin' was actually spirit. Spirit and image was spirit and image, not spirit. It meant spirit, character, force of his being, likeness similar to. And in that wonderful first chapter of the Bible, as God goes about his incredible business of creation, when the whole creation was taking place, God decides to work on creating human beings. And what is so impressive to me is that when he creates us, well, immediately not you and me, but when he creates, he jumpstarts humanity, people, to be caretakers of the whole rest of creation. And I suppose we could say we're special, and we are, being part of the creation of God. Privileged, I guess, but more so, responsible for special opportunities as we care for the earth and care for one another. That image is deeply embedded in us because it is, after all, God's very own image. And then later in our baptism, we are marked with the cross of Christ forever. We bear the image of God on our lives, for we belong to God. So what does that mean? I believe that because of the spirit and image of God, we belong to God, as do others, and God says, you are mine. His image is stamped upon our life. Therefore, we're called to treat one another with great respect, and also treat the whole creation, because we are the spirit and image of God. And when I look upon your faces, and I need to remember that, each and every one of you has been created in the spirit and image of God. And I see the image of God in your faces as you greet one another, pray for one another, listen, laugh, and struggle with the issues of health and life, your isolation right now. You are bearers of God's spirit and image today. Dear friends, as you go about your day, you are the spitting image of God. You are the spirit and image of God, and I am so glad you are. This is Chaplain Clark.